Hi guys, little lady here. Right, so it's Friday, it's my turn to cook. So I've decided, I've been asked for this quite a few times and I'm never getting around to making it yet. So I'm going to make them today, and they're Forfar Bridies. So I don't want to upset people by saying it's like a pasty. It isn't, it's a bridie. Okay, so I'm going to bring you down and I'll show you the ingredients that I've got. Right, so first off, for the pastry, I've got 300 grams of plain flour in there. I've got 75 grams of butter and 75 grams of lard as normal. I'll put a pinch of salt in there as well. And I'm going to do it by hand this time. I have had a few people say to me, I don't have a food processor. How do you do it by hand? So I'm going to try and do that. I mean, my hands aren't that great, so it might take us a little while, but we'll give it a go. And some water. I've got 200 mils there. It normally only takes about just over 100 mils, but I always like to have extra there, especially when I'm doing it by hand. My hands are going to be mucky. So for the filling, we have got 500 grams of lean beef mince. I have 1 onion. Now, I didn't realise we'd run out of white onions, so I only have a red, so I'm going to have to do that. So I apologise to any Scottish people if I've upset you that way as well. Need 40 grams of suet. We need half a teaspoon of ground mace, and need a teaspoon of English mustard. It doesn't have to be the dried, you can have it just out the ordinary tub, whichever's easiest for you. And 50 mils of beef stock, so I've just used half a beef stock cube in there with some 50 mils of hot water and some salt and pepper. So let's crack on and get on with making this pastry. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove my rings. I have washed my hands, and I'm going to get a bit of salt in here as well. Out of the way in case I knock it, and then we're just going to mix it up a little bit, get some flour on the butter and the lard, makes it easier, and then just crush it through your fingers just like that. And then you just keep going. You're going to have to bear with us on this, guys, because both my hands are mucky now, so I can't turn off the camera. But yes, I have been asked for these, and I've got a few other recipes. I've got a one of a lady, I can't quite remember her name, it's still in my emails, for stovies, so I'm going to be doing them shortly as well. She gave us that in the summer, so obviously it wasn't quite a summer recipe. So I've left it and I've kept it in my emails. I'm just going through them again the other day, and I remembered about it. So that'll be coming up shortly, probably in the next couple of weeks. Right, so you just get the bigger bits into the flour. Just a bit in between your fingers, or in between your hands like that when they get a bit smaller. People say you've got to keep it cold, just use the tips of your fingers because the warmth of your hands. Yeah, that's if in a perfect world, yes. However, this is going into the fridge for a couple of hours because it's just my lunch time at work now. So thought I'd get these all prepared, and then they can just sit in the fridge until it's time to use it. Now, if you get to the stage where you don't know how many lumps you've got, just like that, and the lumps come to the top. There we go, it's starting to really come together again now. Right. So yeah, I've had a research about this over the last couple of weeks, since I've been asked for them, like I say, a few times. And to be perfectly honest, I'd never really heard of them. So it's something that's brand new for me. I've never had them before. Never made them before. So I'm just, whenever I get a recipe like that, I've got to do it. It's a bit like that Stovies one. I will, like I say, I'm just over curious. Now I'm just going to rub that in between my hands a little bit because now they're getting smaller. Get a bigger bit, then just keep going back to that. Really doesn't matter if you've got the odd bit of butter that's not quite mixed in. It's only pastry and it'll work no matter how you do it. I remember doing this with my nana. This is always my job. It's probably why my hands don't work that well anymore. But it is what it is. Don't know how many pastries I've actually made over the years. Any bigger bits, like I say, just shake your bowl, it brings them all to the top. So make sure you haven't got just all flour, you have got a bit of butter in with them all, but I'm not bothered about them few little lumps that's in there. I'm just going to quickly rinse my hands. Turn that off properly, I'll just get on my nerves. Right, so as you can see, we have that like that now, and I'm just going to pour a little bit in at a time. It's about 50 mils I've put in there just now, and I know it'll take more than that, it always does. And there's about 100 mils in total. Sleeves coming down. Right, well, what I want to do now is I want to get my hands in there. See it? A little bit more because I've got all that to incorporate. Just keep going. I think there's probably enough water in there now just to pick up all these bits here. I do see it to get it together till your bowl becomes clean. Right. So that's that. I'm going to wrap this in cling film and get that in the fridge, and then we'll get on with the filling. Right guys, so I've had a bit of a clean up. I've got the pastry in the fridge and I've grated the onion. Good job you can't see my face now because I did have tears streaming down my cheeks. So we're going to get this filling put together as well. So I'm going to put this in the fridge for a little while. Until it's time, and then all we'll have to do later on is put it all together, make the bridies up and bake them off. So get rid of that. I'm going to put in this grated onion, stuff off the top of the sides, make sure you get it all, stuff off inside the lid. Yes, I thought, man, I'd do everything from scratch today. No shortcuts. But you can see my eyes now, guys. They're literally bloodshot. So then we've got the suet going in. Just going to quickly rinse them. Oh, I've just put that over my shoulder. I'll be getting told off again. Right, what have I done? There, see spoons. So I want a half a teaspoon of the mace. Now this is the outside of the nutmeg. Let's put that in there. We want a teaspoon of mustard. You know, also if you do fancy trying these but don't really want to do your homemade pastry, there's nothing wrong with buying shop bought. You can either use puff pastry or self-raising, clear crust. So I want a bit of pepper in there, a bit of salt, and the stock. Right, and all we do is get your hands in, mix it all together. When I was researching this, because like I say, I've never heard of them before, I was thinking, sew it inside with the mince. And then it was like beef stock in there with the mince. And there was some recipes that I saw that didn't have these in. But the more and more research that I did, and you know, there was like Scottish people that was doing it, this is the one that came out the most with these ingredients in them. So I thought, if I'm going to do it, I'm not going to take any half measures. It needs to be done properly. So I think that's just about mixed in as much as what we can do. So I'm going to get that covered, get that into the fridge, and we'll see you later when it's time to put the Bridies together. Right, so finished work. I've put the oven on to warm up. I've got that on at 180C, that's a fan oven. And I'm going to do this in 2 halves. I've had this out the fridge for maybe about 15 minutes, just so it's not as hard. So I'm just going to do this half first. I'm just going to put it into a puff shape. Bit of flour on the bench. Bit of flour on there. Now what I do is when I get to the end of a flour thing where there's not much left, I leave that in the cupboard just for dusting when I'm doing the pies and things. Just it makes it a lot easier, and you're not dipping in with raw flour, raw dough on your hands. So I'm just gonna, and anything that's left over at the end I'll put back in because it's just for dusting anyway. Right, so I'm just going to roll this out until it gets to the thickness that I'd like, which on here is about 3 mils on this rolling pin. I love this rolling pin because you can't really go any further than what it says on there, because once these hit the bottom, I don't know if you can see because the shadows, it just won't get any bigger. Oh, just keep turning it. Make sure you got a bit of flour on, not too much, but you don't want it sticking. Now you can hear the difference there. You can actually hear these rolling on the wood. So that's as thick as it needs to go. Now, again, while I was actually researching this, you don't do them as rounds what you would do with a normal pasty. You actually, it's an oval shape. So the only thing I've got as an oval shape is the grater, the other half of the grater, because I've washed that one. Now you can do it if you're good with cutting things out to a specific, and if you can do that without anything like this, then you go ahead and do it. But to be honest, That's a bit too fiddly for me, so I'm going to have that there like that. I'm going to do another one here. I'm hoping to get about 6 Bridies out of this. So there's, oops, another one. And if I can get a one out of here. Oh, just. And then the rest of this pastry will go with the other ones. So I'm just going to get rid of that for now. Put that with the other pastry. Where have I put it? Oh, it's here. So now I have 3. Let's pop them over here so you can see. I've already got some egg wash. It's just beaten egg with a little bit of salt. I've got that ready. I've got a tray that's already lined with a bit of baking paper as well. Go me, how organised I am today. Right, there's me filling. Here it is. Now another thing I noticed with this is you don't flatten it out. It's like a ball of mixture, like so. I'm not going to be that pedantic that I'm going to be weighing them all out. I'm just going to do them like this. Right, move that to one side. Quickly wash my hands. And then I'm going to do it on here. Oh, and another thing, nearly forgot. If you just bear with us 1 second, I need to find something. Just going to pop you on hold. Just going to stop it just for 1 second there. Right, sorry about that. I couldn't find what I was looking for. Now apparently you can have these with or without onion. Now if it was with onion, they put 2 holes in. I was looking for my funnel, so I was just going to cut it out. But see what I mean about it being no good with arts and crafts? But it's a sort of a hole. So because this has got onion in, it needs 2 holes on there. So then what we do is we stretch this over. I think they're probably a bit big, them holes, but hey, I'll do the next ones a bit smaller. Definitely too big. And then you get a fork and just crimp it. I will make the other ones look prettier, I promise. Right, then that goes onto the baking tray, and I will finish off doing the rest and then we'll come back to you. Right, that's them all done. Obviously that was the first one with the biggest holes, but I'm not really that bothered about what they look like, because they're going to look absolutely amazing once they come out of the oven. I'm expecting to have a little bit of spillage coming from these holes. Oops, just knocked these again. So like I say, I've got the oven temperature at 180. What I'll do is they're going to cook for about 40 to 45 minutes. There's a big lump of meat in there. We've got to make sure that it is cooked through. So what I'll do is after about 30 minutes, I'll check. If the pastry's starting to look a little bit too dark, then what I'll do is I'll turn the oven down a little bit and just make sure that that meat's all cooked through. Move that along a little bit so it's not touching. What you can do as well is after you've actually egg washed them like this, if you leave them or put them in the fridge for about 15 minutes, this egg that's on here now, excuse me, will start to harden, go dry, and then if you put another egg wash on, which I sometimes do if I've got plenty of time, but it is 10 to 7 at night now, and I think Ian finishes about 7:15. So he'll probably be hungry when he comes in, so hopefully these will be ready not long after he comes in. But if I had a bit more time, if I was doing these in the afternoon, I would probably put them in the fridge and let this egg wash just dry a little bit and then redo it. But needs must and all of that. Just going to give them over just a quick one. Right, so I'll get these into the oven now and I'll come back to you once they're cooked. Right, so the alarm's gone off for 30 minutes. I'm just going to check and see how they're doing. I've got my board there that stops it from... You see the state of that one, the first one, man. I knew that was going to burst. And I knew I was going to have some of this because of all of the ingredients in there. But what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to show you if I can, if you can see it on here, and tell you what. I'm going to put it in the middle of the meat. I'm just going to bring these around. And as you can see, that's only 30 minutes, guys, and it's up to 95. I'm just going to check another one, even though it was a big hunk of meat. Turn it back on, it's turned itself off. Yeah, definitely over 75. Well, I don't know whether I've done these justice, but if you could, I wish you could smell them. They do smell absolutely amazing. I just need some little tiny cutters to do the holes the next time. But I'm going to get them, I've got my wire rack here, I'm going to get them on there. So I'm just going to place these back down there a second. We'll get them on here because they'll be really hot at the moment. Ian's home from work, so he'll probably be wanting some of this shortly. However, it is Friday night. And I have my wine, and he has his what? Oh, your bourbon. Is that what you've got? Yeah. Right, so I'm just going to let them cool slightly, and then we'll have a taste.
There we go. Look at those beauties. Right, so taste testing time. Let's crack on with it. Right, I'm just going to grab one of these and I'm going to munch on it. They're cooled right down. I'm going to use the one that man said had burst a little bit, but hey, I'm sure it's still going to taste exactly the same.
See, it's something I've never heard of, never had.
Never had. Never. I'll tell you what though, they're nice. That pastry's nice. That's the filling there, look. Just took in a chunk out of that. That was very, 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 very nice. Somebody drunk there, didn't they?
Yeah, you did.
It sounded like them off the fashion. Very, very drunk. That's the spices and whatnot in the seasoning in there. That's very nice.
It's got mace, mustard, beef stock.
I'm not getting a lot of mustard.
No, I think it's just a subtle undertone. There was only a teaspoon in the whole mix.
I was going to say there's not like a, you know, we like a kick of mustard, or it goes boom and slaps you in the face. That's what we like. But that is very, very nice. Pastry's lovely. You make good pastry, you don't you?
I did that by hand the day. I didn't even use the machine.
Oh. Very flaky and wow. Naughty, but nice. So I would recommend those if you want to give those a go.
Just get little cutters to do the 2 eyes.
They're very, very nice, those. Nice. Be nice with a...
Well, I was going to do it with some beans.
You do it with some beans, won't we? Or like a dipping sauce or something. Or just dunk it in. But yeah. So anyway, I'll finish that off in a second. So once again, thank you very much for watching and liking, sharing, subscribing. We really appreciate it. Man's now hit over 22,000.
I can't believe it, guys. Thank you so much.
Wow, that's just blown my mind. I'm about, was it 4 short of 2,000?
2,000, yeah.
Guys, we really, really appreciate it. It's
if you could just give her a little bit of love, honestly, be absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. The Christmas list looks like that's going to be a big yes, yes, yes. So we've got stuff to do. We're going to be cracking on with that. Man's going to be starting a Christmas cake tomorrow. So
I don't know when it's going to be up yet.
We don't know when it's going to be up, but she's starting it. Obviously, you've got to do it. You've got to do it in advance. And I've got a few ideas in the pipeline for Christmas week, and I'm off Christmas week, like I said. So there's opportunities for us to do a lot of baking. So yeah. So
if there's anything specific that you want,
put
it in the comments on mine or Ian's channel. And because we've literally collated a lot of our to-do list tonight, haven't we?
Yes, yeah.
So we will put them down there, and if we can, we will do them.
Yeah, it's like things like we were just talking about tonight. The Christmas cake. There's only really me, man. You're not over keen on Christmas cake at all, are you?
No.
And there's only me that would eat it. I love it, but I'm not going to eat a whole cake. So we're making a small Christmas cake.
So the neighbours will have some.
Yeah, the neighbours will have some, and the family will have some. I've always fancied making my own Yule log. I always get a Yule log at Christmas. I always buy one, and I thought, why not? I'll make something like that. And any other bits and bobs that you would like, give us a shout, and we'll do our best to do it. So yeah, right. So it's Friday night. We're gonna settle down now. Watch a bit of TV. Settle down. A couple of drinks. Happy days. So
up tomorrow morning, shopping for the week.
Shopping tomorrow, yes, as per usual. So anyway, we'll wish you. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll catch you tomorrow. My turn tomorrow. So bye for now, guys.
See you later, guys.
See you later.
Bye.